Hello, welcome back to part 2 of the Gollum Jade bonsaiing. So this part now I'm going to repot the tree, get it into a nicer pot, get the roots sorted out, get them nice and radial and on the way. So yeah, I'll flip the camera around and we'll get started. So, for this one, brought the old toolbox out. Now, get the right tools out that we need for a repot. So, what we got? Do you know, I've just got a smell of cat piss. I can't see binks of doing it. What we'll need, what will we need? Need a root rake. Probably need a root hook. And my older scissors for pruning the roots. I did have some rubbish Chinese ones, but I think I left them at a workshop at some point, so these are my root pruning scissors now. I think that's all I'll need for this. Yeah, underneath this it's just a load of wire, which you probably won't see much of on this channel, because we're all about clip and grow. But yeah, there's only bits and bobs, some tools, tweezers, toothbrush for scrubbing algae off and whatnot, tool cleaners, gin tool, sealants for wounds, oils for tools, which I use on mechanicians every time. Yeah, just all the general sort of stuff. So we'll get the camera set up and we'll start with the repot. Okay, we're recording. Yeah. Okay, so this was the Gollum Jade that we worked on in the last video. Got my tools ready that I'll need. I will need some wire mesh and that, but that'll be in a bit. But yeah, this is the Gollum Jade. So let's see what we've got going on. If we lift it out, it's not been watered for probably about a week actually. So what's that flying around me? Bugger off. It should be quite easy to sort out. A few roots in there. It's weird actually because there's no sort of white tip, so it's almost like the tree's not growing, but it is. Funny things sometimes, trees. But yeah, so let's have a look. So we'll just start. Oh, it is very dry, the soil. I try not to water these too much because I know that they don't like it, and that they do fine by staying dry. Just thinking whether to get something to put the tree in just to capture all this muck. Yeah, I will do actually. Let me just grab something and I'll be back. Right, I'm back. I've just got this little plastic tray just to capture all this. It saves me having to clean up the potting table in a bit, so it's not ideal though. Yeah, what we want to do is just, it's very like solid and compact. Oh, might have been better wet actually. It's just nasty, powdery soil, if you can call it that, that everything comes in from the garden centre. You know, like what the just a second, bonsai come in from garden centres. most of us have started with them, but it sounds a bit snobby, but when I see them in garden centres now, I'm like, look, they're not bonsais. they're just horrible, nasty, rubbish soil. Nothing about it's bonsai. Usually it'll be like a ficus and it'll be 3 stumps like that, 1, 2, 3, and forest. That's not a forest. It's just been chopped and then they've got 2 branches like that, and they call that a bonsai. I do not think so. And half the time they don't even water the bloody things. So I've seen a few lately that would be, I don't know, 25, 30 quid. And they're down to like £7, £10. Because they're dying pretty much. But they wouldn't be if they just gave them a drink. You know, maybe chuck them a little bit of food as well. But they don't do they? They'd rather just chuck them out cheap, and that'd be that. So I've been tempted to buy a couple when I see them, just to make a video of them really, and see, you know, if you can find not a bargain as such, because they're just rubbish trees, but bring them back to health, and then, you know, one day in a good few years they might actually be something really, really nice. But I just can't do it, because every time I go to a garden centre, they've always got trees like that, and I can't save them all. So, you know, and I might not even be able to save them anyway. There was one the other day as Alcova that was down to £7, and yeah, I don't know. The tree might have been completely gone. It looked like it could have been. So if I buy that, then there's a waste of £7. So yeah, I might get one at some point and just do it, sort of a bit of an experiment, and see if we can make anything of it. But it would just be a case of, the problem is the soil are coming so bad, like this stuff, that they just forever struggle. The best time to get a tree like that would be in spring, because then you could repot it and get it into some good soil. That would be step one. But when you buy them in the garden centres, they're always in leaf, because they're obviously not going to sell you a bonsai out of leaf, are they? Because no one would be interested. You know, the beginners would think it would be dead. So it's already in leaf, so you can't repot it anyway. So you need to really buy the tree, whatever point of year, wait until the autumn, and if it's a species that does lose its leaves, then at least the following spring you can repot it. But a lot of the stuff anyway that are in garden centres are sort of your indoor species of trees, so it might be a case that they don't even lose their leaves over the winter. If they just go indoors and stay warm, they might lose a couple, but they won't sort of defoliate themselves. I'm just having some of me drink, sorry. But yeah, so I'm tempted to buy one, but every time I go to a garden centre, you see them, and I say I can't buy them all, but I do feel bad for them. I might just buy one at some point if it's at least alive looking, and just see if we can save it really. Just a shame if they just watered the things. They wouldn't need to put them on offer and but they've started putting them as well now in like gift bags. So they'll be like, like a fabric gift bag, obviously with a plastic window so you can see the tray, sealed up, but it's not going to do the tray any favours. They're just going to get so humid, possibly get a disease, you know, fungus. Just not good, and then people will have bad experience with bonsai then. You know, there's a few people that I know that say, oh, I've had them before, but they've died. And you know, the soil that they go in and what have you is not going to help. So it's like anything though, isn't it? I'm into aquariums, fish tanks, aquascaping and all that as well. I've had my first tank, this was a good, I don't know, 5-6 years ago now. Didn't do well. The fish would always die, even though the water parameters were always perfect. They'd always die. Seeing like living things die all the time, some people it's only fish, but it actually really did bother me. So I kind of lost the love for doing it actually. So when we moved house, got rid of the tank. Didn't have any interest in getting fish anymore. I thought I need a break from it. It was just such hard work for your water to be perfect all the time, but your fish always die. Just couldn't get my head around it. Still don't quite know now really what was the situation with it. But since then I did get back into, there's a little spider there, back into them. I now have 3 fish tanks. I worked on one just last night. I'm not one for water changing week in, week out. I just don't see the point. But I've got one that, again, is a bit disheartening, but one that is my best escape, if you like, so far. But no matter what plants I put in, bar some bucephalandras, they always just seem to just wither away. I don't know what it is, so I thought it's got a budder in it. It's made out of concrete. I thought maybe that could be, go away fly, raising the ant pH too much or something. So I did test the pH last night and it was at, what was it, at 8.6. And out the tap it was 7.2, I think. So something's massively raised it. And I only top up with RO from evaporation. So I thought, well, I'll test what pH the RO water's coming out at. And that was at 6.4. So to me that doesn't make sense how the water that I'm putting in can be 6.4, but my tank's reading 8.6. Just doesn't make any sense to me. So I water changed it, I put a couple of new plants in, tidied it up, got the algae out and what have you on most of it. And I'll test it again today, this evening, see what it is, and if it's shooting up again, I've bought some like buffer stuff. It'll decrease the pH. Well, these do come apart, so I can pull them apart. They've got their own root systems. Oh, let me just put the bigger one there for a minute. Yeah, and I'll gradually try and lower it, because it's a nice scape, and the vision for it is really cool, but it's just yeah, just rubbish for growing plants in, but my other tanks are fine. So I don't quite know what's going on with it, if I'm honest. How did we get onto that? Oh yeah, I was just saying, like, everything, you can be disheartened by everything. So like, if you get a beginner bonsai that's in rubbish soil, it's half dead when you buy it anyway. It's gonna put people off. So I would say to people, just buy some nursery stock. Don't go for a bonsai just because it's got a bit of shape in the tree. You can do that with one piece of wire. Or soil blowing all over me. You know, just buy something like £6. Just do the steps on it, repot it, let it grow, research how to look after that species, prune it up. Much better chance. And then as well, if it dies, you've lost, like with that, £6, not £30. I mean, they've got some ficus in there at the moment, like my big ones that I was given that I'm not giving away, are like £70. Now the only good thing with them is that because it's a ficus, he would struggle to kill it unless you leave it outside in the winter or something. But £70, it's a joke. Oh, it smells nice, you know, just smelling like soil and stuff. Obviously you don't get to do this kind of work after spring, so, but on these sort of trees you can. So it's almost like oh, it's blowing all over me, this. It was like being back at spring, which was nice. But, you know, then you've got the whole growing season ahead of you. Whereas at the moment, this time of year, what are we, the 10th or the 11th of August? We've only got a month really, and then it's all over. Trees will start shutting down for the winter, or the autumn, and then the winter. Back to being stuck indoors we go. I'm going to try and come up with some bonsai projects this year, because I need stuff to film as well, but I need shade in this garden, and I just don't know how to do it without building big structures. But I need something, because I can't get anything great at maple wise, because I haven't got shelter, so I'm worried about, you know, the trees getting burnt and what have you. And there's a couple of other things, like I need to see if the damage on my hornbeam, my big one, is from too much sun, which I'm not convinced it is. It's kind of a 50-50 opinion. People say yeah, sun, others are saying no, it's not sun. I've got a hornbeam in full sun, you can take it, so, but I need that shade to experiment with. Saw my parents yesterday, and my mum did say, well, why don't you bring it here and leave it in the under the pergola? There's no point now, it's past that, the damage has been done on the leaves. But I'm also like, well, if I've got to leave a tree somewhere because my garden's not suitable for it, then what's the point in having it? Plus then, unless I go every day to water that tree and check on it, yeah, I know my mum will take good care of it, but watering bonsai is a bit different to your usual garden plants. So that's a worry for me then, and I you know, as I say, what's the point in having it if I can't enjoy it in my own garden? So we do need to make something for shade this year. I just don't know what or how yet, but that might be a project. Just having some of my drink before it goes cold. But yeah, as these roots are anyway, they're not great. Pretty rubbish to be fair, but it doesn't matter. It's its first root prune, they're in rubbish soil, tiny pot, so what can you expect? Just improve them slowly over the years, so maybe next summer, probably a bit earlier than what we're doing this now though next year. It's like dust just blowing in my face. Yeah, my eyes. We'll prune this again, the roots, and get them back into check. So at the moment, that's what we've got. Like, look how high up that is. So nothing special as of yet, but wasn't expecting it. And the same with that. Quite one-sided as well. It's annoying, but we'll get it sorted. So what I'll do now is I'll fill up a bucket. Where is my bucket actually? I need to find my bucket, clean out those roots, and then we'll start working on them. So I'll be back in a minute. Right, so filled up a bucket of water, which is actually full of a load of little pebbles that I had for said fish tanks at one point, but I just put them all outside. But yeah, so what we need to do is basically just get out all of the old soil that's still left in that. See, it's like, well, mind you, the camera probably can't see it, but it's just like powder. So what we want to do is just get that in there and give it a good swish. With trees like this, for example, that are in like wet sort of compost, what you'd do whilst doing this is you'd have your like your root rake or your root hook, and you'd be kind of, but with this I shouldn't need to do it as much because it is just like powder really, but when it's wet you can drag that old soil out the roots with that, which now this is wet actually. I can see how I'm pulling out there. It does pull a couple of the roots out, but so long as you've got enough on the tree and you're not pulling like the only root off the tree, you should be okay. But yeah, you're just cleaning all this out because we want to be able to see the roots, what we've got, not be concealed by the soil. But also when we repot the tree, we don't want any of this old soil in, which will stay damp or really dry in case of this soil. We need to make sure we're in nice, fresh bonsai soil. So just switch to the root hook just to get under those. Yeah, there's a bit of old soil just wedged under some of them roots, so we'll just pull that out. If I damage these upper roots here, it shouldn't matter too much because they're a bit high on the root plane anyway, so yeah. But whilst I think on, what are we thinking regarding the footage so far? Obviously most of part one of this tree was done on the main camera, the DSLR, till it threw up battery problems, and then I switched to my iPhone. I know the footage is going to be better on my phone, and I know it's in focus, so I haven't got that issue. It's just, I feel like, well, whilst I've got a camera which I bought years ago but never really used it. I was doing a photography course but never sort of bothered with it after a couple of weeks. So I've always had that camera, and I just never used it, so it basically is still like brand new. So it's like, well, seeing as I've got it, it'd be nice to make use of it. Plus I'll be learning a skill of how to use the camera eventually, whereas going to my phone, yeah, it's going to be easier and better quality because it'd be 4K as opposed to 1080, but I just feel like it's cheating a bit. And yeah, it's like I still am, but I was like massive Apple fanboy, if you like. So I have an iMac that I do my editing on, and I think I got that in 2016, and that's barely been used either. But annoyingly now, it won't let me upgrade to the latest Mac OS, or even the last few before that, which is a bit of a bugger. But again, I never really use that, so it's nice now to actually have a use for it by doing my editing for these videos. It's almost like having the camera and having the Mac. It was like, bought it for a reason, just didn't know what that reason was back, 9 years ago. Now, here we are, 9 years ago. Wow, didn't even have a single bonsai or a single bit of interest in horticulture or anything 9 years ago. It was all about technology, gaming, but completely changed now. Like, I can't remember the last time I gamed. It must have, it must have been, wow, 5-6 years ago. Just not something that interests me anymore. Whereas bonsai is number one. So much so that I got back into going to the gym over last autumn and winter. I needed to, I'd put on loads of weight, so I'd lost nearly 3 stone, but stopped once basically spring hit this year, because I knew it's bonsai season basically. So my time goes onto the trees, but annoyingly, since doing that, I have put a load of the weight back on. But again, I used to be a massive gym rat, as they say. Like, that was my hobby. But unhealthily addicted to it. I'd be like, oh, Christmas Day's coming up, I need to get a workout in, how am I going to do that? Oh. But yeah, so what I was saying was, bonsai, it does take over your life. because even if you can't be bothered, you have got to come out and check your trees. So once I get in from work, I have to come out and check them all, make sure that they don't need water. Have a little, whilst I'm doing that, a little check over for any weeds, get them out before they get established. So, you know, it takes time. It takes me about an hour and a half, if all my trees need watering, about an hour and a half to get through it. So, you know, an hour and a half's a good chunk of the evening. That is, you know, your gym time. You obviously got other things to do in life, so I know it's sort of sounds like an excuse to not go to the gym. Oh, we'll make time, but unless I get up early morning, or go to the gym really late at night, I haven't got time. But what I do need to do is stop eating so much rubbish like chocolate, because otherwise I am going to put all that weight back on and then I am stuck, because then I do need to get to the gym. At the moment I'm at the point where you've put enough on, but I'd say I'm okay, but I don't want to go back to how I was. Bloody annoying though. I used to think I was fat when I was addicted to the gym, but when I see pictures of me then, now, there's nothing of me. There is now. Hello kitty, you seeing what I'm doing? Washing the roots. You look like you need a sleep. You like water, don't you? Especially water in the toilet, little monkey. But yeah, you see that's pretty clean, them roots now. Still a little bit in there, but we can always swish that out before we repot again. So put that back there, and we will adjust the camera and get round to the root pruning. Okay, right, I've adjusted the camera. I've got you a little bit closer so we can maybe see what's going on with these roots. Cat's gone in for a sleep, I think. So I'll just pop that one in the shade for a minute. I don't think it would matter too much if these dry out. I mean, they were dry when I took them out the pot, so. But yeah, we'll start with this little one. That would be the front of the tree there. So just bear with me while I sort of see what's going on. These are quite good scissors. These were like, I think they were from Amazon. My girlfriend got me these as well. Oh, speaking of her, on my, was it my first video or just the one when I did the Portugal Carrier Afra pruning? I said in the video, my girlfriend at the time bought me this pot. Now when she watched that video, she wasn't very happy. She says, at the time, yes, we're still together. So just thought I'd correct myself there. I don't know why I said that. So yeah, there's a little bit of trouble there. But yeah, oh yeah, the kitty's coming out. Just taking some of these roots out that are growing straight up. But yeah, so what I was saying before about bonsai takes over, it really does. So if someone's watching these videos that isn't into bonsai yet, but is maybe thinking about it and maybe using these as sort of beginnerish type videos of how to do it, I would definitely go for it. Bonsai is great, and you know, I haven't got any trees that have worked far into the future yet, but it's great. But it does take over. It's sometimes you hear of people about looking to get out of bonsai, and like a guy from the my bonsai club says, you never get out of bonsai. It's just, once you start it, it's just part of you. I don't know how you will get out of it. You know, you might sell a couple of trees, but I can't see how you could get out of it. It just becomes part of you. So yeah, if anyone does successfully get out of it, to a degree, I mean, good on you, because I don't know how you do it. I don't know why you'd want to do it, being honest. Everyone's circumstances are different though, aren't they? And some people don't have the time, which is fine. So yeah, so I'm just kind of going around these routes and just trying to get everything that's flowing out radially. So as you see, like if this is the side of the tree, this route is fine. But if it was like coming out there and then it was over here, that wouldn't be any good. So I'm just trying to get everything so it's out nicely, like nice and round over time. It'd be tricky on this side because there isn't really much growing there. But yeah, so I don't know how you would get out of bonsai, if I'm honest. It's, as I say, once you start, it's just part of you. You can get rid of some trees and treat your collection, but and that's the other thing I would say, if anyone's a beginner, it's hard to do, and I'm giving advice here that I never took, but just get 1, maybe 2 trees just to begin with, because it is hard work to look after all of them, you know. And as I say, I've got what, 65-ish, something like that, and it does take a long time to water. And when it rains, unless it absolutely pelts it down all day and that sun doesn't come out and there's no wind, you've got to check your trees for watering. If they're in organic soil like this, then it's a different story. But once they go into bonsai soil, which, if I just pull out some from this maple next to me, if you just look at that, look, it's basically, it's not, but it's like stones. So a trickle of rain doesn't touch that. You have to water it. And if you don't, as an example, yesterday, even though I watered the trees that needed it on Friday when I got home from work, yesterday on Saturday afternoon, even though we'd had some bad weather, when I came out in the afternoon to water, the potentilla soil was dry and all the flowers on it had basically drooped and just sort of disappeared. Then once it was watered again, within 10 minutes the flowers were all out, and it was happy again. So if I hadn't have watered that tree yesterday, I need to take these upper roots out because I can't keep them. Yeah, if I hadn't have watered that tree yesterday because I couldn't be bothered, which, to be honest, yesterday I couldn't be bothered, but I know it has to be done. Yeah, I need to take these upper roots off, just a whole lot. That tree could be dead today. And when you water the tree, day in, day out, the time that you spend on that tree adds up might only be a minute a day. But you know, even if it's a minute a day, that's 7 minutes a week just to water it. That time quickly adds up. So to just then miss a session, the tree die, you've wasted a lot of time for nothing. So you've got to just keep going. If you can't keep going, then you're best just giving the tree up to someone that would want it and can look after it. So yeah, there's a bit of advice, if you like. It's a bit of an awkward root system, this. I mean, they usually are when they're sort of nursery stock. But if you can see how all those roots now all follow that, so when it's planted flat, like that, that would be nice. So what we're trying to do is that. So we're just trying to get all those roots nice and neat. I've still got the buckets over there, we're just going to give it a swish. That's okay. But yeah. So we're just trying to, that's cranking off. That's cranking off. Make sure everything flows down into the soil nicely. Bit of old dirt on that, old soil. A little bit still in here. Yeah, so that side's pretty good. Now there's a couple underneath which we can take out. We also need to clean some of that. See that old soil out of there. Get some of that out. Loosen it, and then when we swish it, it should sort of dislodge that. And then we know then all that nasty old soil's out, organic, and then we go to fresh soil. Now the soil I'm going to use for this is it's quite a big particle mix actually, but it's a buki, I think it was called. So it's a 50-50 mix of akadama and pumice. And I used it, what did I repot not too long ago with that mix? Oh, the Benjamina. Ficus benjamina, and it's actually a really good mix, and that brand of ibuki as well. Like usually if you buy akadama, you have to sieve it, and half of the bag is just powder. But this ibuki stuff does say pre-sieved, and it is, because nothing come out of it, so I don't need to sieve it today. Just take out these roots underneath. Yeah, so it's a good soil, so I will try and look to get that again, because I am a bit of the opinion that the akadama that we buy in this country is just the rubbish that Japan don't want, basically, because it is bad. Yeah, it's nothing special. So it's the only soil I've got to hand actually at the moment. The only other one I've got some perlite, but I've not been too keen on not the pure straight perlite mix. I know the likes of Nigel mixes with other components, turfis and pine bark and what have you, but I've tried my larch in just pure perlite this year, and I don't rate it, if I'm honest, so I am just going to stick to probably akadama or pumice and akadama going forward. So hopefully now, I'll just check, can we see? It's not a great root system, it's very one-sided, but you can see how, by that one, everything is quite radial, so it will flow down into the soil like that. Nothing underneath because we want a flat base, so we can get into a shallow pot and the roots to grow out like this. Well, like that, but yeah. So that will probably do for that one. Now I'm just going to rest it in that bucket of water for now, just to keep them a little bit more moist. Let me just squeeze past the camera and put that in the bucket. Yeah, just don't want them drying out properly, seeing as a lot of the soil. Right, and then the next one is the big tree, which is this one. There's a bit more to do on this one. So, what was my front? It was that, wasn't it? So if I'm looking at the front, we're just going to go in and clean up anything that's basically sticking up, is flowing out, awkward angles, you know, cranked, not. So there's quite a few on this tree, really. This is it's a bigger tree, it's going to have a bigger root system. What else have we got? That one's sticking up. Take that out. Yeah, is anyone else into aquariums, aquascaping? Be interested to know. It's a nice hobby. I wish I was better at it. I'd love to be able to make some great aquascapes, but I'm not massively good at it. If anyone wants to see my tanks, I can do that. So you could let me know. I can take the roots off, and I could do a little video on them. If it's something you'd be interested to see, I was or am keeping an eye out on. I don't know if anyone knows, but there's a professional aquascaper in the UK called George Farmer. He seems like a great guy. He does workshops, like bonsai workshops, at this house now, every now and then. So I am keeping an eye out for when he next does one. I think he charges about £100 for the workshop, which is good. You know, to work with someone of his level. I think he says refreshments provided and that as well, so that's good of it. So I am looking to do that to try and improve my aquascaping skills. I'm not bad, but I'm not George Farmer, that's for sure. A lot of it is comes down to money though, like everything. To buy the materials for good aquascaping, it's expensive. But then it's having the skill and the kind of vision to know what you want your scape to look like. There's no point in buying materials without a vision in mind, because they'll just end up not going together and you just waste loads of money. I'm definitely better at bonsai than aquascaping. I'm not amazing at bonsai, don't get me wrong, but I'm quite confident enough that, like, even now as you know, as you're watching this, I've got a channel. But yeah, awkward roots again, up high. Yeah. If I wasn't confident in what I'm doing, I wouldn't have a channel, because what would be the point? You've got to know what you're talking about before you can preach to others, sort of thing. But compared to some of the guys I know, some of the friends like SB-Bonsai, he's one. He sells like foliar feeds and all sorts of nutrition for bonsai. So you should try and find out about him. He doesn't have a website or anything like that at the moment, but the likes of Kaz Bonsai and Harry Harrington know of him and have used his stuff, I believe, and are impressed with it. So there's always a way of contacting him. I do use his stuff, but I haven't so much this year. If I'm honest, laziness. It takes a long enough watering and feeding as it is that to then have to do another feeding regime is like, oh, some days you can't be bothered. As I say, you have to. And if I was ill, like really ill, and just couldn't come out to do it, I'd have to ask the girlfriend to do it. She pretty much knows how to do it. She watches enough content on YouTube with me and all that sort of stuff that she's got a pretty good idea of bonsai. We'll just say if I couldn't do it, she would be the go-to. I would just say, you know, make sure you do it properly. So it's different watering bonsais to it is garden plants. So the root system's getting very small now, but it's getting better. See that big bulge there where the roots used to be? I'll probably have to nibble that back in a bit. The only problem with this root system now being so small is the tree is still top heavy, so that will fall. So it might have to go indoors, but then it's not safe then because we've got a cat that when he's not allowed outside, he does like to go to the windows to see what's going on. He loves being out. I don't know if he's out at the moment actually. I'm just saying we're still recording it. It'll be quite a long video this, I think. And repotted ones always will be though. Some repots are just so good. The roots are like fantastic at the end, but you're lucky on them ones. Most of the time at the beginning, you just got to work with what you've got. See, there's this bulge here that's a bit, let's say, a little bit higher than the rest, but I don't know if I can get rid of it or not. Let me get the concave pruners out the toolbox and we'll have a look. sets of tools. Nibbling away. Those boulders. I am going to upgrade all my tools over time to have carnation for everything now, because after I bought those thingy-majiggies, the main pruners like that, they're just so good. So these will get retired one day and just become backup pruners, I think. Yeah, we're just opening that wound out there where there used to be some high up roots. I mean, these tools and stuff are sharp enough anyway, but it'd be nice to have all carnation. Look after them and they'll last forever. Well, so will these, to be honest. See that big wound there now, but that will heal over time. I might just look a little bit more just to round it a bit at the edges, just so it's not so protruding. This is a one tool that I don't actually use that much. I usually just use the branch pruners, so they're the ones I'm going to upgrade next. These green spots are sort of drying up already, but yeah, so I'm going to upgrade them tools next. They will be the next ones because they're my most used. They even do tweezers as well, carnation, so I'll probably get them. Not that you use tweezers that much, but I've just snapped that root. Damn it. Right, do I take off this part? I can nibble it back. Just to take off where those old roots were coming from. On here. Right, let's have a look. Right, so we've got that's coming down into the soil nicely. There's one underneath it, just can stay. We've got one over the that can stay. I'm just concentrating just for a minute just to focus a bit on what I'm doing. Let's make sure I get this right, because root pruning happens once a year, so once you've done it, that's it. So get it as best as you can every time you do it. Should get that old soil out of that crotch bit there. Don't want any of that nasty soil left in there, so just teasing it out. Yeah, this root system's looking better already anyway, and hopefully next summer, or by next summer, it will have grown and improved, and then we can come back in and do this again. Now, I'm not sure yet, but the pot I had in mind for this, now that the roots are pruned, might be a bit too big for it, I'm not sure. But then again, it's two trees together, so I might be okay to do it still yet. Right, what was my front? There, wasn't it? So let's just have a look there now. See how that's flattened out now? And it goes down into the soil. Hopefully that's picking up alright. I don't know what the shadows are like because the sun's come round now. See how it's flattened? Might be better if I take the brolly down now and let the sun in, but that's not too bad that actually. Everything's radial. So I'm quite happy for a first root prune anyway. And this side's not great. I'll take that one off anyway. Just shorten that a bit. Take that part off because that's going over that side. Shorten that maybe. It's not perfect, but it's not gonna be. It's its first root prune. So I'm just using these scissors now, just to tease out sort of the last bits of the old soil. There's not much in it, but because what we do when we swish it back in that bucket, it should dislodge what's left really. Just going to try and flatten that base a little bit more, just in the middle, like so. Ooh, that was a bit cut. Right, I think that's going to have to do it really for the first prune. But hopefully you can see it's much more radial. It's just a shame it's not a bit bigger to counterbalance that weight up above. So, but I'll get cleaned up on here, and we'll come back with getting it potted up. So I'll be back in a minute. Right, so I'm back. The phone needed charging. I had a bit of dinner. So now on to repotting these Gollum Jades, and I spoke about a pot for them. Now this pot wasn't actually supposed to be used, but I just feel like it would be a good match for these trees. So it's the last one of these pots as well. Let's have a look. Now if you can remember my cork bark hornbeam, that's in the same pot as this. So there we go. Isn't that a lovely pot? Walsall Ceramics, National Bonsai Society 50 years anniversary, 1973 to 2023. So there's our club stamp. So this is really a piece of memorabilia, if you like, stamped under the pot as well. Walsall Ceramics Studio, as well as the 50th anniversary with the National Bonsai Society's logo. So yeah, these were made obviously a couple of years ago now. I had two because my girlfriend was part of the club as well at the time, so we got one each. One, as I say, my hornbeam is in, and the second one, which was Jenny's pot, I gave to Nacho Solar last year when I met him. Came over for a workshop, so I thought that would be a nice little gift from those of us that were doing the workshop that day, as a little gift to take back to Spain. So then at another one of the meetings, they had one of these pots left, so I actually bought this one. I didn't have to pay for the other ones, they were a gift to us, but this one I had to pay for. So this was the last one. planter. There is no more. So this was supposed to be a pot just to keep indoors, keep it in the box. Yeah, but I just think it's probably a good sized pot, and it'll be a nice pot for those Gollum Jades. I know it's a bit too much of a fancy pot for those trees, but I haven't really got anything else anyway. My other stuff is too big, more like forest plantains or big Japanese maples, and I've got some pots on top of the shed, but they're too small. They're just like your basic like garden centre bonsai pots really, so I don't really want to put them in them, and they're all a bit small anyway. The bigger ones have all been used up, I think. The only other option is a plastic garden pot, which I don't want to put them in that, so I think this would be a nice pot for them. Now, I was debating using this pot for the musk maple. I think it would work quite well with it. My only thoughts are whether the colour is a bit too close to the trunk colour and it would kind of just blend in a bit. This is a little bit darker, but I'm just looking at it now behind the camera and it is quite similar, so I don't think this would be the best pot for it, but I think it would suit those jades quite well. Although they're not the best tree to go in it, it is what it is. I just didn't really want to use the pot more than anything. This was just a keepsake, never to be used, but yeah, so I think we'll put it in that. So what will I do? I'll turn the camera around and we'll show sort of the repotting down over the tree. I'll sort that out. Okay, so pot's on the floor already, and the Ibuki 50/50 Akadama pumice mix is out. So the first thing we need to do, just trying to see where I am on the camera. Let's cut some drainage screens out. I need 3, so I'll cut 3 of them up. Now I am quite hang on a minute, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm quite like OCD with cutting these. So rather than just like tear them up, I do actually like count them just so they're all nice and even. Don't know why, but yeah. So 1 for the middle. And 2 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Oh, mind you, don't need to count them because I've already got this sort of template cut out, haven't I? Number 2, this is just plastic bonsai potting mesh. Tempted to get some of the fabric one, but it doesn't really matter, does it? Saw some recently actually, can't think where it was. Should have picked some up. I think it was a garden centre that was just, oh yeah, it was RHS Bridgewater, I think. They had a few of the bonsais for sale and stuff. I'm sure they had some more mesh. So we need a little soil scoop from IKEA. And we just need to get a base layer of this and there. As I say, this is show you on the camera if we can see. Very even particles. It's not dusty, so I don't actually need to sieve this. Whereas the normal pure Akadama, you do, and most of what you sieve just ends up on the grass because it's rubbish. So Again, I'm going to try and not wire these trees in, but I am a bit concerned that the bigger tree has a small root base at the moment, and it's a top heavy tree obviously, so we will see. Watch this be the tree that I do need to wire in, and then I'm doing this for nothing. But yeah, I don't particularly even wire the drainage screens in. I don't see the need for it. If you just do that and hold it down, put some soil mound on like that, they tend to stay in place as long as you're not too rough with them. So let's just make sure. I mean, there's a bit of dust on the actual things, but not a lot. It's enough that it will just run out when I water the trees in. So that should be enough for the base layer. I'll move the camera again back to the potting bench and we'll get it potted up. Right, okay, we're back on the potting table. So it's getting quite warm, it's on about 25 and we're in the shade. Right, so I'm gonna plant this up. These have just been sat in water probably for about an hour. I don't like leaving them in water, but I think we're just gonna stick with kind of how it was planted before. I'll just put a slight twist on this one just to hide this branch behind this one, but we can still see the foliage over the top. So that base layer of soils, and the height is quite good actually. We'll just space, well, what I'll do, I'll plant one at a time, but it's too difficult doing both at the same time. But basically, we're going to need quite a bit of soil on top of this anyway, so we can't raise the tree up as such. Not that we want to yet, because we need some weight down on this, and it will need some pebbles. So what I'm thinking is I'm just trying to play around with the composition a bit with the two trees. Do we want one forward, one back? I think it gives you a bit more distance effect if one is back a bit more. But I'm trying to think of the balance of the tree as well. Like with the growth being a bit more to the right, we want to be a bit more left in the pot. You don't want the growth sort of hanging over the right hand side of the pot. So I'm thinking if we go quite left, but central this way in the pot. And sorry if you can hear screaming, there's kids playing out. Nothing I can do about that. And the other one before was pretty close to the tree. Now, I don't know if I still want that. I think back and away a little bit. Like there would be quite good. So what I'm gonna do is, I've got my soil mix down here. Yeah, I think that's quite good there for that. It's still got room to grow to the left, plenty around, but it will balance the composition more with having this branch coming over and the second tree going on that side of the pot as well. So I think that should be quite good. I hope it makes sense what I'm explaining. If there is any beginners here, don't worry with these things. You know, it doesn't make too much sense in the beginning, but you soon pick it up. The more stuff you watch, read, see in person with bonsai, so compositions and all that. will come in time. But if you do want to learn a load, your best place is not just as on YouTube. There's nothing you can't teach really in bonsai that you don't need to know. So unless you want to get into wiring trees, that is, and then maybe look somewhere else, because he doesn't do that, just like I don't really. Which is why I don't, because I've learned from him. So you can see there we've mounded that soil up around that tree, but as soon as I let go, the tree goes. So it's going to be a case of a pebble, or even a tool might hold it for now. It might not, you know. I think a pebble while I arrange the second tree. So, oh, this is going to be tricky, you know. It's a tricky planting. Okay, that's not too bad there, but I'll have to keep my eye on it. Right, so with that tree set there, I'll turn it just so you can see where we're at. Got to be careful till I've got this settled into the pot properly. I don't know where I'm going to put this. As I say, indoors would be best, but the kitten likes to go on the windowsills, so I'm not too sure yet where to put it. Right, and then the second tree. Oh, that fits quite nice there, actually. That wasn't a bad guess, that Sean. Maybe just raise it up slightly, so I can put a little bit of soil in there. Again, this hasn't got a massive structure at the moment, so this one is going to be heavy that way. So, oh no! Oh. I think I knocked that. I just disturbed it. My bad. Oh, it's so heavy. Right. Let me get some soil ready. Ah, lost my position for this now. It was about there. Oh, I think it's a nice seeing this in this part as well. It was a good choice. Really good choice. Yeah, I think that's good. It's set back just a little bit. It's got a bit of room to grow alongside that tree. I think that works quite well. So all the roots are radial, so I don't need to comb them out in the soil. There's not enough of them to really have to worry about that. All we need to worry about now is securing the tree, which is going to be difficult until all those roots start growing again. This is fiddly. I know it's probably not a good camera view at the moment, but we'll get there. Oh, this is really, really tricky, you know. Just try and hold it with that root rake. It's not big enough. Maybe this. There we go, that holds it enough. Let's start filling the pot. And then we'll work the soil particles in between the roots, which usually it will hold the tree then as well. Don't know how well it will work on this, just because there's not that many roots yet. I just don't know where I'm gonna put this tree afterwards. It might be better going in the cold frame with the ficus. Have to put plenty of rocks on it, but that might be the best bet to keep it out of a lot of the wind. Right, what I'm going to do is I need... I think I've got a chopstick up here. No, I did do. Let me just grab a chopstick. Just a second. I got this thin plastic one, which I quite like using over the wooden ones. But what we need to do, hold the tree, and we're basically just poking, wiggling all those soil particles so they like backfill on one another, which gets rid of any air gaps. It'll also help to secure the tree in the pot. Sometimes I can spend ages doing this because I'm just like, let's be sure that the soil is worked in and we've not missed anything. A lot of the time people just give it a quick poke around and then that's it, but I'm like really cautious about it. So actually it looks quite good with a pebble in it. Makes it look like a deserty landscape. That might be something for the future. Got some dragonstone, I think, from the fish tanks. I could maybe find a couple of pieces of that too. That's a good idea actually. To add to this. Right, this one will be tricky here because this is going to move. Yep. Just take our time. Don't want any accidents if we can help it. I've enjoyed working on this tree today, and I think in the end, with the pot and everything, and the structure of the trees, it's actually turned out really, really nice. So I'm quite pleased. Even like the soil, the colour, looks very, at the moment it won't when it's been watered, deserty. So I just think it looks, see how now that's worked in, the tree almost held itself, just not quite. But once we can get those roots growing again, it should soon anchor itself into this pot nicely. I might not even repot it next year. I might give it an extra year. It just depends how it grows, really. There's a few trees actually that I've worked on this year. See how that's almost stable, just not quite. That I'm thinking next year I might just leave, because it'd be nice to work on them every year to keep improving the roots, but part of me thinks the tree might appreciate just being left a year, really, just to grow, because a lot of the time it's like my larch trees, they've not done a lot this year. I think they've really struggled. After the root prune, so I think if I give them another year, it would really help them along, and then the following year I could do them. The only thing is, like, this year was like I wanted to make a forest planting with them, but the trees have never been worked on, roots or top. Well, they've had a bit of the top growth done, right? But so to expect to just put them in the forest was, yeah. No, there's no rush. Bonsais, you're in it for the long game, so yeah, this one's gonna struggle to hold. Yeah, so there's no point rushing things. If it takes me another 5-6 years before I can make a forest planting, it is what it is. It'll be worth it in the end. The roots will be nice. They'll start to have some flair. That was the thing with Nigel's forest, which I'm basing mine off. His, if I remember right, weren't ever started off as sort of like individual trees and refined. So if he repotted them now, I think he said like the roots won't be very good on them. So if you want to expose the roots, you've got to do the work on them first. But yeah, this tree is struggling a bit to get in that, you know, stay secured, so it might be that we need to mound the soil up more. Keep some rocks in like this big one here, and maybe one at the side just to, so that'll be weird. Yeah, we'll just keep working this in for 5 minutes or so. See, they say, the professionals in bonsai, not to stab it like that because you can. I don't know if how effective it is. I mean, you have to put some pressure in that to break that. But if you stab it, you're just breaking the soil particles down, which then basically, ooh, that moved. Oh, you just turn it to powder. But I just find it a lot easier than I have to do this by hand, you know. Then doing the way that they say, which is to put the chopstick in and wiggle it. It does work, but personally I find this way works better. You know, I am stabbing the soil, but I'm not being that rough, so I shouldn't be damaging any roots or the soil. Like, I had to put quite a bit of pressure behind that particle then to actually pierce it. Hopefully you can start to see there the landscape taking shape. But yeah, I was just spending a bit of time doing this. I can mound the soil up if I need to. See that one again is wanting to shift because it's got, well, not very many roots on the left hand side, and with the growth being to the right, it's quite heavy. I haven't got any pebbles close by, annoyingly. Let's just work this in. I think it's been quite a long video, this one, actually. It's taken me, well, hours to do the pruning and do the repotting. So it's going to be 2 parts, maybe even 3. This part here, repotting it, might be a part 3. I'm not sure yet. I haven't got a clue how long I've been recording. Oh, I need to get some rocks. I'm just gonna keep trying to work the soil all together. I need to try and get around this big tree a bit more, but I've got to be so careful. Right, I think a little bit more soil on the top of that. Don't mind it being rounded up a bit. Yeah, I think we'll be good. Some here, I'm going to put basting it. Useful. Alright, let me take this pebble away. Yeah, I need more soil around this side of the tree, which might hold it then a bit better as well. So keep going. Let's take that pebble away. I can always mound it up a bit and take the soil away later on once the roots get established in the pot. Let me just see if I can work that in a bit. It's just because there's not many roots on the tree and it's all kind of unbalanced, the weight in the canopy. So it's, as I say, these leaves hold a lot of water. So unless you've got a root system anchoring it down, nice and solid, it's gonna shift. So it's still moving, but it's not as bad. But it's definitely gonna need some rocks in it for a fair while. Glad to have pruned this up today. It's its first ever prune ever. Obviously its first repot. I thought it was ready for it, and I've had it a while, well, years, a couple of years I'd say. So it was ready for doing. Another little go on the back here. Just rake a bit of that into there. It's quite like dusty, this soil, but the actual just straight Japanese akadama is very powdery. At least this is still actual particles of soil. So I'm using this on my Vicus benjamina, and it's doing a good job. It's holding the tree in fine, no pebbles in or anything as well, and it just sits nice and compact. Let's just work this in here a little bit, and then I think we'll be done. I'm just making sure. No, it's probably dragging out on the video a little bit, but if I don't do it right, as soon as I move the tree, it might need repotting again. So just got to make sure I get it right now. See, I've worked that soil in more, and now the tree's loose again, so just trying to make sure I've got it. Oh, bloody hell, as good as I can. think that is all worked in now. It's just a case of there's just not enough roots on the tree to hold it. So what I'm gonna do is I need to find some rocks. I'm just gonna see what dragonstone I've got from the fish tanks, because I think that would look, well, it might look quite cool or it might not, but I'll have a look and see. So I'll be back in a second. Right, I've got most of the little pieces of dragonstone that I had inside. I knew I bought all these for a reason. Just didn't think it would be bonsai. So let me just come back around. So dragonstone, if you can see, it's like, not that side, that's very flat, but it's like dragon scales. But if you look at that, that's quite desert looking, isn't it? See. So I think these could look quite good in this. That's a nice piece, but yeah, I had loads of these little bits lying around. So rather than, I haven't really got any small pebbles anyway, so I've only got big ones left. So I'm thinking these dragonstones might work quite nicely for this deserty landscape. So we're gonna need a fairly heavy chunk, like. Let me see if I can do it so that, like, it's gonna be tricky. Try and do it kind of artistically. It's not going to be great, but it's got a flat edge on the show. Let me see if I can position that any better. That maybe. There, that's a good anchor point actually for the tree. So it shouldn't tip right, and it looks quite nice. Now, the bigger tree, I'm just trying to weigh up if this is going to work or not. It could do. I could even... Let me have a play around. Is my lack of aquascaping skills coming into play here? This piece is that looks pretty cool. It hides that bacteria a bit, but that does actually look pretty cool. If we can get that kind of with it. Actually, I don't want that one's a bit big. Maybe we can put like some smaller ones with it. I've got a few more inside, but I don't think I'll need them all. Just makes it look like it's growing alongside a big rock in nature. Seeing if any of these sort of work together or not. That might actually fit in there. Kind of does actually fit. So if you see from the front, it does kind of hide the planting a bit, but I just think whilst we're waiting for them roots to grow in and grasp the soil, secure themselves, why not have it planted up a bit nicer? These, oh, do you know what? These could be quite nice stones in a bigger pot, like a sarissa. Ooh, there's something for the future. make a nice landscape, but for now I'm quite happy with this. But what I will say is, whilst that's secured that way, we do need something around the back as well. So I'm going to try and use these pieces to secure the tray so it doesn't blow back. I should still be able to water it okay. And this little one as well. We need it to hold them in place. Now if I wiggle them gently, there's not much movement in there, so it should just hold it. The only thing, as I say, is I'm worried about winds. But if I put this inside, the cat will end up messing with it. Just thinking if I need that piece. Could add to it, couldn't it? Let's get the aquascaping glue and glue these together. That's going a bit far, isn't it? They won't be permanent anyway. I might actually leave it like that. But yeah, I'll take the camera off the tripod and we'll have a closer look. Right, so here we go. Let's have a final look at this Gollum Jade planting. So yeah, those rocks are pretty cool with it, but they probably won't stay on forever. They are just going to be just to hold them for now so they don't fall out. The potters, they're not wired in, but they do look cool. If I maybe just put like a couple of smaller bits, but maybe if it was a bigger pot, then it'll look quite cool. But this is the left hand side, the planting. This is coming round to the back. Try not to like jerk the turntable too much so that the trees don't fall out. Oh, do you know what? It does look cool with all those rocks. I'm glad I had them. Just hope that these trees stay secured in this pot, no matter what weather we get. See, if we get really bad weather, the tree can come in. But for the most part, really, it needs to be outdoors till winter. So I think with the ficus in the cold frame would be best. Plus I can shut the lid on it as well, get some humidity going, and hopefully get those roots growing. Oh, now I've just got to try and water this with all those rocks. But yeah, I'll water it off camera, and then yeah, set it in the cold frame, I think. Yeah, I hope you like this planting. I think it's quite cool. It's a cool first prune, potting up. I think the pot works well, the rocks work well, although they were a bit of a fluke. But yeah, so look from above. So I hope you enjoyed watching this one. I think it was probably quite a long video with the pruning and the repotting. First repotting on the channel. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Thank you.